All right, we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. If you're tagging along from any part of the world, be sure to let us know where you are tuning this from, right? So you can always put it into the comments and the chat box here. For those of you here together with me in this Zoom room here, feel free to introduce yourself. We'll get to network a little bit throughout and even at the end of the time. Now, I just want to say thank you for being here. You being here means that you prioritize your health and well-being, or even learning about something about yourself. And for that, give yourself a round of applause. Right, so give yourself a virtual round of applause. Yay! Now, a good health and well-being, whether it's your mental, it's your emotional, or your physical, leads to better performance and productivity, right? So that being said, we're going to head right into our session today. So allow me to show you a very quick video so that you can have a view of this. And I'm going to let you know by the end of the video what it means. Right, so very quickly, I'm going to jump into this and that you can see. Hang on. Right now, let me just quickly move that. Give me a second. Apparently, my slides are stuck. Here we go. All right. So with that being said, let's watch this. Now, I know we've all been told not to laugh at people's misfortune, but let's admit this, right? It's a little bit funny, but at the same time, this is a learning point for all of us, right? This is how not to relax and how to get injured instead. Now, I'm sure some of us here may be able to relate to a situation like this. You get going, you're frustrated, and you keep going. At the end of the day, something just backfires at you. Sometimes it's not just you who gets hurt, but it's other people as well. So here's a good reminder. If you are feeling a little bit uptight, if you're feeling unwell, you're not right in the mind or in an emotional state, you can take a pause. Right? So that's exactly what I'm going to be emphasizing throughout this session as well, is the ability for you to take a pause so that you can control your state. Nice animation. Thank you very much. Now, allow me to quickly introduce myself. Then we'll get going so that at least you know who's going to be here, right here, sharing with you some information as well. Now, let me just quickly go into this for your quick reference. So my name is Jeffro, and yes, that is not a typo. That is my name. Right? See, many years ago, back in 2008, we were still in a lecture hall. I was a student and I was seated at the back, and the lecturer would call us by name to take attendance and say, Jeffrey, put your hands up. And I put my hand up. And in that moment, I would see a few friends also put their hands up. Apparently they had the same name. So I was confused. They were confused. The lecturer in the front was equally confused. And you know what? There's this awkward moment when no one knew what to do. Just like that. So I didn't like that, and I wanted to make a change. And that's how I came up with my name, Jeffro, because the O in my name stands for only one. Now, it has been very useful ever since then for my friends, my partners, lecturers, clients to be able to find me not only on social media, but also on their phone book. Right? Let's face it, it's much easier to type Jeffro than to type Jeffrey, right? Shorter. Anyways, so what do? I help professionals to deal with their stress, to deal with the conflicts, and also with the people that they are working with. All this in hopes that will help them to turn their frustration into fulfillment. And whatever that you'll be experiencing today are some parts of it under the EQ, emotional intelligence umbrella, which I'll be sharing with you as well. And I'm very thankful that in the past 3 years, I've been given the opportunity to train, coach, facilitate more than 15,000 individuals locally and internationally as well. Now, just in case if you're wondering who are some of the partners and individuals that I have collaborated with, here you go. Right, so just a quick glance on who they may be. I'm not here to talk about them. These are just some sessions that I've done before, just to show you. These are equally in a remote context. So if you are learning remotely right now, then you are in for a treat as well. So we're going to go through what are some of the workshops that I've done. Right, so here is also another one where we talk about managing stress, especially at the workplace. And that's it. That's about my introduction. If you want to know more about me, we can talk about later. We can do a little bit more at the end. But for now, let's continue with our session. Now, specifically for this, right, let me just bring you through two things that I want to cover today. And today I want to bring you some awareness to help you recognize what is happening to you. And that is the warning signs. Now, I'm not going to go very detailed into this, but I'm pretty sure with the little hint that I'm going to share with you, you'll be able to pick out what are some things that could be happening to you in letting you know that you could be very stressed. Now, the next thing after that is that we're going to do some activities together. What do I mean by that specifically is 3 relaxation techniques that I will be showing you. But on top of showing you, I'm going to help you experience how you can relax just within 2 minutes. Exactly, right? So if you are those who are very busy, you tell me that you have no time, Jeffro, I don't have space, I don't want to change clothes. You don't have to do any of that. Wherever you are right now, whatever that you are doing, as long as you just allow yourself about 2 or 3 minutes or so during that time, you'll be able to experience how to instantly calm yourself down, how to enable yourself to feel more relaxed, and how to relieve those emotional stress. So hang on and tune in further for that. All right, so let's move on. Now, before I go further, I also want to put an a disclaimer here for everyone. Whatever that I'm going to share with you are based on experience, research, and observation. This is not a clinical advice, which means what, Jeffro? It means that if you are undergoing a clinical treatment at this point of time, this is by no means a replacement to that. If you are going through any kind of clinical treatment or you're taking some sort of medication, follow your doctor's order, your instructions, and whatever that has been given to you. On top of that, you could take this into practice to help speed up that recovery mode and to also help you feel good in that process. Right? So this is to enhance your recovery mode as well. Right? So that's what I want to put up for everyone here to go. Now, for those of you here in this workshop right now with me, if you're still with me up to here, could you give me a reaction or type yes so that I know that you're here? For those of you here, whether you're streaming live from YouTube or Facebook, let me know as well if you could follow up to here, right? Love to know. Great. I'm already seeing a few reactions coming in here. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, now before we get into fixing or recovering or healing, we gotta know first what is burnout. I mean, this whole session we talk about combating burnout, but what exactly is burnout? So I'm going to give you a very simple explanation on that. Now, first and foremost, burnout doesn't happen overnight. No one chooses to have burnout, and burnout simply means that you're super tired. That means you're overly tired, you're exhausted, you can't do anything. So when I say it doesn't happen overnight, it happens in stages, and here are the 3 stages. It starts from stress, good, bad, whichever that is. It's still okay until you unmanage it. So if let's say you leave it just like that and it manifests and it grows, even the good can turn bad, even the bad can turn worse, right? So that's exactly what I mean. So it starts from stress and it happens and transitions to the later period if you don't do anything about it. Now, imagine yourself like a smartphone, right? You're fully charged right now, and the apps on your phone are the stress. The more you use your phone, the more you use the apps, the battery is only going to go down. So your energy is draining and you are consuming the battery each time you use it, right? Now, there's no problem at the beginning, but if you don't charge, naturally it just goes lower to the point it reaches maybe 10-15%. Then what happens? You'll start seeing your phone start slowing down, right? So now when it starts slowing down, what happens? It shows that you have some delay in your text or some of the applications. Sometimes you're using it halfway and it crashes. Now this particular part is also very similar to us, but we call it the fatigue zone. When you're tired, you don't get to do everything the way you want it to. Sometimes a little bit lag. Now what happens if you continuously let your phone go on that way? Now naturally, from a 15% low power consumption right now, even if you don't charge it, it will go down to zero. And when it reaches to zero, you will have a black screen, right? You can't do anything and you have only one option, just to put that phone down. And that's exactly how we are when we are in the burnout mode. See, when we are at the 0%, we're flat out. We can't do anything. And that is the problem. When we are flat out, even if there is something fun for you out there, you just don't feel like doing it. And you'll probably go back home and you want to watch your movie, but before you can even watch that movie, you fall asleep. Now, this happens so frequently among professionals that it has become an issue, right? So here is what statistics have shown. And it's not just me, and this is one of the statistics that shows that this is majority of the people who are facing this. Now, more people are working longer hours, and because of that, more people are reportedly getting burnout. So if I could simplify this, imagine if there's 4 of you in the room, 4 of you, 3 of you will get burnout. Now, 1 person will be okay. And there's just these 2 possibilities for this 1 person who is okay. Possibility 1, this person is okay because he or she is able to handle stress, able to work around it, navigate situations, and that's why this person is okay. Possibly number 2, this person is okay because he or she is the cause for everyone else's stress. So, and I hope you are not possibility number 2. All right, let's move on. Now, how do we know whether we are on the path of self-destruction? Okay, I know it may sound a little bit morbid, but then if we look again, if we ignore these warning signs and they keep going on, the end is definitely predictable. So what do I mean by that? So let me give you a full list down on the 5 areas that you should be looking at. So going at number 1 is if you find yourself constantly feeling tired and maybe low in energy, and maybe you may be saying, I wish I could stay in bed all day long. And you say this so often. It is not lazy, it's just tiredness. It means you need to rest. Or number 2, you're easily moody, frustrated, or agitated, right? Recently, you might find yourself being triggered even by the smallest things. It didn't happen in the past, but it starts happening now. Now, this emotional reaction is due to a lot of stress and pressure that's building up. So the more you have that build up, the bigger the reaction. And I'm letting you know right now, in case if any of you may have already known and see this, it's something for you to take note. Now, number 3, if you're easily falling sick or feeling unwell, hey, you might be getting headache, flu, sore throat, body aches here and there, and it could be a sign that you are under a lot of stress, mental stress that could be making your body weak. And we all know this, if you're under intense stress continuously for a period of time, your immune system starts breaking down. And what's worse is if you're in between the healthy and sick. You know what I mean? The one that you're not entirely fit to get going, but you're not entirely sick to stop. So you have only 2 paths. Either you want to fall sick really hard, or you want to take a step back right now, take a break so that you can recover and you can run faster. I'll leave that choice up to you. Now, number 4 over here, if you notice this, I'm saying about having troubles to sleep. And this is so obvious for those who are feeling stressed and overthinking or over worrying, which means at night when you want to sleep, this is the things that are keeping you up awake and maybe even helping you to feel anxious. When you could be sleeping or resting, you're up awake with your eyes wide open. Now, if you let this continue on, it will only make you restless and it reduces your productivity and focus. So I want you to pay attention to this. Now, number 5, very simple. If you are constantly forgetting things, recently especially, your short-term memory loss, which is like you make a cup of coffee, but you forget to drink it. You took notes earlier, but then you forgot where you save it. And you're going constant back and forth on some things without knowing why. Right? This is a sign of short-term memory, and it could be that you are handling too many things at the same time that makes you forget these little things in between. Now, if it's just temporary, good, don't make it permanent. So when I say don't make it permanent, I mean that if you are seeing right now all these 5 signs, if you can even match up, if you think that you have any of this, it's good time to stop what you're doing and at least plan out when can you start recovering. Now, one of the things that I want you to know is that you are in control of yourself, nobody else. If you want to stop, you can stop. You have that choice at the very least. The one thing that I also want to highlight to you is this. For us to understand what we can do about this is also to understand about our emotions. Right? Stress is also part of the way we feel. So that's an emotion. And emotion is just an energy in motion. Means what? Wow. It means that when you change your energy, you change the way you feel. And that's exactly what we're going to do right after this. Right? So you know what's happening to you. If you want to reduce that, it's time to do something. And what can we do? We're going to do some activities. On top of that activity, or rather I would say the application is based on changing the way you feel. And we do that by changing your energy. So I'm going to show you right here first. The relaxation techniques that I'm about to show you in just a moment will help you feel calm so that you can respond calmly too, will help you feel safe and okay about yourself and help you reduce feeling fatigue and the anxiety that you may have. Right? So all these are to help you in the emotional side, because I firmly believe that if you are emotionally in control, you are also in control of the way you interact and respond to people. Right? So like I mentioned, the guiding principle is when you change your energy, you change your emotion, the way you feel. Now, how do we apply this? You can apply this anywhere, your daily life and your professional workplace, it still works the same. It will help you from getting overwhelmed, especially if you feel that those emotions are boiling up. These techniques will help you. If you're in between presentations and meetings and you're constantly feeling fatigued, these could also help you. And if you're dealing with difficult conversations, whether it's your customers, your friends, your family, and before you go into responding to them, this technique will help you, right? So these are the things that I wanted to let you know first. And for us to do this, I will need your help to prepare yourself. So the simple preparation that you need is these 3 things: space, minimize your distraction. So your phones, the social media and all that, you can put it aside for you to maximize that experience with me here and for you to be ready. Now, it's very simple. What my doctor friend has always told me, the best solution on earth will never be good enough if you're not ready, right? So if you are ready to do this, make sure that you have these 3 things, right? Space, minimize distraction, and readiness. So in space, how much space do you need? So let me go ahead and show you how much space you need first, and I'll give you about 10-15 seconds to prepare your own space too. So you'll need this much space. So your hands together in the front, and you just have that circular motion around you. This is how much space that you need. And the reason why I say this is so that you don't accidentally knock onto something or you don't fall into something as we're doing this. Yes, this is how much space that you need. Set your boundaries, people. Now, minimize distraction, very simple. Just mute some of your work stuff first. I'm not asking you to quit them, but just mute them. And if you have any social medias, just silent them for a while. And of course, if you're ready, then get yourself seated up straight, and we'll be doing this very shortly. What I'll do is I'll explain to you, I'll show you, and then we'll do it together. So with that said, let me go to the first one. Now, the first one here is hand trace breathing, which means you will need one hand and one finger and your breathing system. All of us have that. Now, so how we're going to do this, let me show you the 4 things that we're going to do. Right? So we're going to have one hand, one finger tracing up and down. And as we do this, when we move up, we will breathe in slowly through your nose. As we hold at the top, you hold your breath. And as we slide down, we'll breathe out through your mouth. So the smaller your mouth is, the slower you breathe out, right? That's exactly how we'll do, and we'll follow one complete cycle. Now let's do this together, everyone. Make sure that you have your hand and you have your finger ready. And once you're ready, put them together and you can follow my pace. And here we go. Breathe in. Hold and out. In. Hold and out. In. Hold and out. In. Hold and out. In. Hold and out completely. It's pretty cool, right? Some of you here, if you are feeling a bit lightheaded right now, if you're feeling, wow, that's great. That's exactly what I want you to feel. If you feel totally okay, like just calm, that's also okay, right? Now, for those who are feeling a bit lightheaded, this is a very simple technique because you can do this anytime. But for those of you here feeling lightheaded, you're a little bit floaty in here and there, just know that this is a very normal thing because you're getting a lot more oxygen and maybe you're not used to it yet, and that's why you're having this feeling. The more you do this, the better it is. And guess what? This little technique not just helps you to reduce that emotional stress, helps you relieve those tightness and helps you calm down, but it also helps you to sleep better and also helps to increase your metabolic rate. So for those of you here into fitness, this really helps. Why? I'm not making this up, but the more oxygen that you have, it helps with the fat burning in your metabolic process, right? I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm letting you know there are many advantages to using this. Now, you can do this in just less than 2 minutes. You've experienced this if you have done it with me now. We're going to take one step forward with it. And we have those who say, this is really cool and we feel very relaxed. Now, if you like what you feel, we're going to take one step further. And this time, what you're going to do is as you slide out, as you breathe in, I want you to imagine, you can close your eyes in this process. I want you to imagine that you are taking in all the positive things, all the things that you want into your body, everything, anything and everything that you want. Now, as you hold your breath, as you put it up, you want to imagine that it goes to every part of your body, from head to toe, from the fingertips of one to the other, right? Even to your toes. And as you let out, you're letting go of your stress, your fears, your tension, your anger, everything. You're just letting it out temporarily, releasing it, right? So that's exactly what I want you to do in the next round that we're going to do right now. So you don't have to show me your hands or your fingers. You can put it in a comfortable position so that you can feel at ease. So here we go. Once you're ready, your hands together and let's do this. In. Hold and out. In. hold, and out. In, hold, and out. In, hold, and out. One more time. In, hold, and out completely. Let everything out. Okay. Now you may resume breathing like normal. I hope you really like this. Right? This is something that I really enjoy doing it myself with other participants as well. And for those of you here, if you feel good, this is something that you can do under 2 minutes. Really, like it's that simple. Now, I highly recommend that you do this in your own space, and that's why I want you to have that. Which means that if you are in a conversation with someone, don't do it in front of them. It will scare them. They don't know what's happening. What you could do is you can excuse yourself for a moment, do that, and come back into that conversation, the meeting, or the presentation so that you are in control and you don't let your emotions overwhelm you. That's exactly what this could do. Now, we are going to go to the next step. And this next step here is going to be a little bit different, but let me demonstrate to you how it is first. So this is what I call positive tapping. Now, this includes you lightly and gently tapping on your chest. This is to give you comfort and to send signals to your brain to reduce emotional stress. Now, I know there are times that some of you here would love to have some additional support, external, your friends, your family, and all that. And it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. You want to have that positive reinforcement from others. But maybe at a given time, you're alone and you're the only one who's sensing that rush and you need that. What can you do? Now, if you can't wait for others, you can give it to yourself. In fact, you can become your best supporter. And what do I mean by that? I want you to know that it's totally okay to feel good, and even when things don't look the same way. You can feel good even when other people think it's not the right thing. There is really no right or wrong in feelings, and no must or should feel in a certain way. I can't tell you that you should feel grateful or you should feel happy, but I want you to know, however that you feel right now is valid. And if you want to feel good, this is one good way to help transition from whatever that you were feeling earlier to feeling more positive, hence positive tapping. So how do we do this? Very simple. We're gonna put one hand to our chest, and when you just place it to your chest, you can gently tap it. So some of you here would have this motion, some of you here would have this motion. I'll leave it to you, but you're gently tapping on your chest. And for you, you just need to follow this. And I want you to know, if you want this to work for you, you will have to do what I do and say what I say, right? So you just repeat what I'm going to show you on screen afterwards. So go ahead and start gently tapping yourself on the chest as I guide you along this process. So here we go. You can breathe in and out just like normal first. Okay, and as you do that, I want you to read this. I give myself the permission to feel as good as possible. Right? Read it out to yourself so that you can hear. And I choose to feel as good as possible. I have the right to feel good right now. I'm letting go of my fears. I'm letting go of my stress. And I choose to love, accept, and respect myself. Right, so now you can put your hands down, and I want you to take a deep breath and out. Good. And I hope you feel even better right now. And this is a very simple thing that we could do for ourselves. And in fact, you have probably experienced something like this, not with the exact same message, but you have experienced this same similar tapping, whether it's on your shoulders, your back, your head, we've had this before at least once in our lifetime, from our parents, from our friends. And this is a way to really tap into our own natural positive energy. And there you go. But I know some of you here would say, Jeffro, I'm a very busy person. You just gave me 6 things to remember. And I know this 6 here, some of you here would have forgotten the first 3 already by now. And that's okay. So I'm going to show you here, right here. You can pick any 3. But what I want you to do is that you can personalize your own message. Make it yours. Make it unique. Pick any 3 or create any 3 of your own. And if in case you're wondering, I can create 3 of my own, are there any examples? I'm going to show you some quick examples right here. So you can design your 3 power message. For example, it could be message number 1, I love myself. Message number 2, I'm healthy and strong. Message number 3, I deserve goodness. And when you have your 3 messages, all you need to do, follow the same pattern as what we did. Tap yourself on the chest and start reading message 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? So this will be good enough. Now, why specifically do I pick 3? Because 3 is easy to remember for you, most of you here who are busy. If you want to have more, go ahead. However, one thing that I would like to just probably give you a tip, don't make it too long, because otherwise you'll read halfway and you forget it, and it sort of breaks that tempo. Make it easy for you to remember so that you can do it anywhere. Even if you're boiling soup, or you're taking care of your kid, or you're rushing between one meeting to the other meeting, it makes it easier for you, right? So you want to design messages that you love, messages that you can remember as well. So that is technique number 2, positive tapping, with a twist that you can make it your own. Now, we're going to move on to technique number 3. Now, this is going to get a little bit more physical, so you definitely need more space here. Now, what do I mean by this? First, let me show you the common thing that I observe no matter where I go. Even in this time where we are virtually connected, I sometimes see people on the other side of the screen doing this. Maybe some of you here may be guilty as well. You'll be looking downwards, right? Now, when you look downwards, the first area that will be impacted, whether it's short-term, long-term, or even mid-term, is your neck. And when your neck is strained, it causes a little bit of tension, and this tension will grow. It can grow to your shoulders, it can grow to your back, and eventually it impacts your posture, and sometimes it may create or it may develop migraine and headache. Now, these are very common things. Why am I sharing this? What's it got to do with all that? I realize this. You can wake up motivated. Yeah, I'm going to take on the world today. But if your body feels sluggish, you're not going to be able to hold on to that motivation for long. It will impact the way you think, and it impacts the way you feel and respond. So here's what I noticed. If your body is in a good shape and you have good motivation, you're bound to go very far. So now if you have good motivation, we're going to ensure that you have a good body. I'm going to show you some simple things just to loosen up, to make your body feel a little bit better, to make your whole body a little bit looser, and you can recharge yourself with this process as well. So let me explain how we're going to do this. This is what I call as simple body movements, is to loosen the tightness, relieve tension, and release stress. And these are techniques that I've learned from physicians and some dancers too. Very simple things. Now, if you have done this before, it's a good thing to keep doing this. If you have not done this, let me give you a heads up. You may feel a little bit of stretch, but this process is absolutely needed. Now, what do I mean? We're going to focus on 3 areas: your neck, your front and back, and your entire body. And we're going to have a little bit of fun in between here, right? Now, if you're ready to do this, make sure that you're in a comfortable position, seated straight up, and you have me on screen so that you can see, right? And you can follow. We're going to start with our neck. Very simple. We're going to put our hands together just like this. You can form a diamond shape. For those of you here, if you are anywhere on YouTube, Facebook, you can do it behind your screen. Just make sure you have that space. Put your hands together just like this. And in a moment, you are going to look up with your head facing up, and your hands will go under your chin just like this. And you are going to hold it there for a few seconds. Just hold it there for a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can let go, release, give it a while. And now we are going to do the opposite direction. So you're going to put your hands together like this. And in the moment, you are going to look down with your head facing down. And these hands will go behind your head, gently pushing it just like this. All right, so just gently apply some pressure facing downwards and hold it there for a few seconds. And in 3, 2, 1. Okay, release. Now, we're going to do a few more steps here. And these are very simple ones where you use your right hand to push your face to the left without moving your body. So I'm going to show you here first, and everyone, you can follow. Like this. And hold it in this position for a few seconds. All right, hold it there. And in 3, 2, 1. Okay, you may release. And now we're going to do the opposite direction with the opposite hand. Right, so left hand, push your face to the right. Just like that. Yeah. Okay, and hold it there. Hold it there in 3, 2, 1. Okay, release. Now, I know some of you here may feel a little bit of tense. It's totally normal. And hence, I make it a little bit shorter, just in case if any of you here, you're not used to it yet. Now, we are not done. We've moved up this way. We've moved side this way. We're going to move this axis this way. How do we do this? Using your right hand, going over your head and pulling the head to the right without moving your shoulders. Okay? Now, I'm saying to hold it this way. I'm not asking you to pull all the way down. That's all. Right? Hold it there. And in 3, 2, 1, you can let go. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So left hand over the head and pull to the left. You can pull your head to the left, gently applying some pressure. Now, some of you here, you're using the other hand to ensure that the shoulder don't go up. That's also good. No problem. And hold it there for a few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and let go. So you can release and you can breathe like normal. Maybe some of you here, you were very excited. You were doing this and you stopped breathing for that moment. Here's also what I realized. When you become very focused in that moment, sometimes you may stop breathing. So if you were very focused in any of those areas, you'll notice suddenly you're short of breath. That's absolutely normal. So that's why I will always remind you to continuously breathe throughout. Okay, dance warm up, right? So some of you here, if you're dancers, you would know these are the very simple things that we will do, because if your neck is okay, more likely you're more mobile. You don't want that stiffness around this area. So now we're going to do the front and back, and you're going to have to watch me do this first so that you can understand how it works. So how do we do? I'm going to call this the squeeze front and squeeze back technique. So squeeze front is when my two hands are up and I say squeeze front. I'm bringing my two hands together and I'm tucking downwards. What happens here is the back is stretched, the front is squeezed. That's exactly why I say squeeze front. And when I say squeeze back, I'm pulling it apart backwards, and this part is stretched and the back is squeezed. That's exactly what we are going to do. So now if you're ready, you can put your hands up just like this. Very simple. And here we go. Everyone, squeeze front. Pull them together. Right? So you just pull your hands together. Now, if any of you here, you have some difficulty, it's okay. Do it at your own pace. And now squeeze back. Feel that back being pressed. Feel that back being pressed. Good. Now, squeeze front again. Right, so you can do this sitting, you can do this standing. Nice. And squeeze back. Good. Squeeze front. Okay, and hold it there just a little bit more. Squeeze back. Okay, now what we're going to do in a moment. When I count to 3, I want you to let out with the ha, H-A, ha, right? So you're going to do this together with me. And if you do this well, you will feel some magical relief. And here is what I mean. 1, 2, 3. Any of you here, you felt that tingling moment, something just left your body, something just went off? Now, if you did, this is probably not the first time that you felt that way, but this is probably the first time that you're intentionally doing this way. Now, we have encountered this kind of experience for a while now, especially if you were doing something very important, if you were in the midst of busy time. Do you notice after that moment has ended, you come out and you do, and it feels so good, right? The instant relief, that sigh of relief. This is what I call the intentional sigh of relief, where you do it elaborately so that you can get it out of your system and you feel good. So you don't have to wait for something important, then only do it. You can do it before that thing happens so that you feel good, you're more in control. And for some of you here, it builds up your confidence, it builds up your vibe. Go and do it, get it done, and do it one more time so that you feel good at the end as well. Right? So that's something that I wanted to add in. It's a little bit of extra that I'm sharing here. Now, next thing is the body part. Now, I've talked about body, so now we're going to do this, and it's going to be very simple. I'm pretty sure all of you here can do, but just in case, if any of you here, you have any physical restriction on your body, you may take it slowly. So what do I mean by this? In the moment, when I count to 3, I want you to shake the whole part of your body, everything, your head, your hand, your shoulder, your waist, your legs, just shake everything. Okay, so here we go. In 1, 2, 3, just shake everything. Just shake it loose, shake it off, and ease that. Feel every muscle, feel every joint, every part of your body moving. It is alive. You are alive. Right, so just go and move it a little bit here and there. And in 3, 2, 1, you may relax yourself. Good. Right, you may relax yourself. And this is where we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So everyone here, breathe in, hold, and out. And hold, and in, and hold, and out, and hold, and in, and hold, and out, and hold. Okay, now you may breathe in like normal. Now, just in case if you're wondering, why am I doing so many holds? I'm just helping you to slow down your breathing. Of course, this is me doing just 3 sets. You can do as many as you want. You can do as long as you want if you can. If your lung capacity is there, you can do this many times throughout the day. Start when you start off, when you're in the middle of things, and when you're about to sleep. So we have some who say, I'm feeling a little bit dizzy because shaking too hard. You're shaking too much, right? Good for you is that you're letting loose everything. The not so good thing is if you need a moment right now, then you will probably need to rest a little bit before you resume. Avoid doing this when you're driving, definitely. Avoid doing this when you're crossing the road because people might find that you are a little bit out of the way. And avoid doing this right in front of someone because it will scare them away, right? So just do this in your own private space. Hence, I always say to have your space, to have your own time, uninterrupted so that you can get yourself back. Now, it's okay to say no to others because saying no to others is saying yes to yourself and getting time back for what you want, right? So that is what we've covered here. And just to quickly show you the very simple things that we've just done in that short period of time, we've done 3 techniques. And if you've done it with me just now in the past 10-15 minutes, you've experienced these 3 things: hand trace breathing, positive tapping, and body movements. Now, they are very simple to do, and I highly recommend you to pick anyone that you like. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat, which one do you like most? And I love to hear it. But if you were to ask me, even if you just do just one, and you do it every single day, it is good enough. it sets you up for the bigger things later. Now, there are many techniques in this world, but these techniques is what I found to be the simplest, to be the easiest, and to be the most fittest practical thing that I could do in anywhere that I go. Right. So I hope that you like this. These are simple to do, but these are also simple not to do. I'll leave that choice up to you. Right. So these are the things that we've done. And just in this very short time, I want to remind you, each of these techniques takes less than 2 minutes. If you don't have 2 minutes, we need to talk in private. I can help you work on that. Right. Now, so let me sum up. What are some things that we have done here? We've covered the warning signs much earlier, but we've also done the work itself on the relaxation techniques. And if you have done it with me, you would have experienced how it feels like, and I highly encourage you to start doing this every single day. Well, that is it on the parts that I want to cover to you. This is how we could combat burnout every single time using just simple techniques that we do every single day. Right? So I hope this has been very helpful for you. I love to hear how you have felt throughout this. I love to hear your side of the story, your experience as well. Feel free to share with us in the comments and in the chat, right? With that being said, this is what I want to share. Now is the time that I would love to hear from all of you. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you would like to discuss or even check in with, feel free to use this time, right? So
thank you, Jeffro. So if you can just share a little bit about where people can find you before I close the live stream.
Oh, sure. Yes, we can do that. All right. So this is where you can reach out to me. If any of you here, you have any questions post to this session, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and if you'd like, you can also reach out to me on email. All right. So these are the 3 areas that you could get in touch with me, and I'd love to